And then he goes on to say, the manager asked if we're at the restaurant. That's already a little sus right there. Are you in the building? Then yeah, we do it. Are you in the building right now? Are you the black couple that just got through eating on the phone talking to me? Yeah, we had gratuity all the time. Yeah, those type of parties, yeah. No, you know, this is already something that is wrong if they're doing this to two people. Chances are you're getting profiled. My wife and I, we have often had the debate about why I'm adamant about tipping. You know, I've talked to this with her many times before about why I, as a person of color, like to tip. And that's because we always have that stigma on us. Even when you get service that's not very good, as a person of color, you always want to tip because last thing you need is somebody, because it'll always be, you think it give you the worst service, but it will always be their word against yours. You might never meet these people again, but they'll go in the back of the kitchen and be like, man, can you believe these Negroes? Jesus, they never tip, right?
Yeah, that's the part we argued. I said, like, if they don't treat you well, you don't have to do it. You know, you can show how you feel. And
you know what? And if I get absolutely terrible service, what I will do is, I won't even, I won't, it's not that I won't tip.
I would tip 15% instead of 20.
No, what I do is I do tip 20%, and I take the money and I give it to another waiter or waitress. I say,
take the money and throw it on his face.
Yeah, no, I take it and I say, hey, give it to somebody who's working hard, because I've done that before. I had somebody who's just talking. We went sitting up there waiting for over 30 minutes to get our bill. And I was like, wow, this person's really, they're just talking. I went over there and said, hey, you know what? Don't give that to her. Give it to this person over here. So at least when I leave, nobody can sit up here and say, well, they just looking for an excuse not to tip. But I tell you, case in point, right here. Oz, did you hear this story?
Nah.
So, case in point right here. Hey, listen, it's a stigma that's wrong, no matter how you got there, because you don't really judge people if you're running a business like that. But hey, case in point right here. A black couple in New Orleans. And I'm looking at this article right here from the Griot, but it's been making the rounds today. They had a 20% gratuity automatically added to their bill. Something that, can you shut that door, please? Something that DESI Vegas restaurant in New Orleans, something that they don't normally do. And a lot of people have gone through this before. I've read this article right here. Like I said, a lot of people say the Griot, well, they're a little biased, but this is in a lot of places. I just picked this up because that's the first place I saw it. The couple here. Let me see if they say their names. James Washington and his wife, Yasmin Raquel. They went to DESI Vegas' restaurant in New Orleans, seafood, prime steaks. Automatic 20% gratuity. So he says here, if you know me, you know that I grew up in the restaurant business. Started off as a busboy at the Praline Connection. Moved up to waiter. Then all types of positions at Ruby Tuesdays. Washington wrote. Nevertheless, I thought the automatic gratuity was weird for a party of two. Because there is automatic gratuity, but if you go in there with a big group of people.
More than six.
More than six. Yeah, it's 6 or more actually sometimes. They'll say, all right, this is standard for us to do this at this restaurant. No problem. But 2 people, that's a little suspicious. So it says here that we add 20% to all our bills. But something didn't seem right about the response when he asked about this. So he says, we called the restaurant while we were still there, and the hostesses answered. We asked for the gratuity policy. She didn't know of one, so she placed the manager on the phone. And then he goes on to say, the manager asked if we're at the restaurant. That's already a little sus right there. Are you in the building? Then yeah, we do it. Are you in the building right now? Are you the black couple that just got through eating on the phone talking to me? Yeah, we had gratuity all the time. Yeah, those type of parties, yeah. No, you know, this is already something that is wrong if they're doing this to 2 people. Chances are you're getting profiled. But he said that They asked him, "Are you in the restaurant?" And he said, "Yes." They said that they never heard of such a thing. Still not wanting to believe that we were singled out and trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, I spotted a white couple that had just paid their bill. I pulled them aside and asked them, "Has this ever happened to them?" Their response, "Absolutely not. Who would do such thing to an upstanding white couple like us? Not you, Negroes. Get out of our way." Move, riffraff. No, they didn't say all that. I imagine they were probably shocked too. As the situation escalated, Washington was able to speak to the manager in person, who confirmed the 20% added to the bill. Pretty much. Now check this out. They asked him, "Did you add this because we're black?" And the guy finally confessed, like, "Oh, okay, you got me. I did." Pretty much like that, man. He says here, they confirmed that the 20% added to the bill was the couple being singled out by the staff. I called the manager over to the table and asked if he had lied. He admitted that he did. He confirmed that he and the server prejudged us, said he felt so bad about keeping the lie going, said that he was in a precarious position. What fucking position is that? I want to know what that means. Precarious. Don't be pulling out them big words unless you got 20% gratuity to add to it. You know? This is stupid, man.
Spell that word.
Said he didn't mean to racially profile us. Well, that's exactly what the fuck do you? That's exactly what you did.
I didn't mean to. It just happened.
It was an accident.
I thought you were 6 people. You know.
Yeah.
Just put it in.
I was minding my business, and oh shit, racism.
Yeah. I didn't mean to, man. It was just, you know, the racism just fell on you, man. It was an accident. I swear. I swears it. So I didn't mean to racially profile us, but his server asked him to do it. That bitch. He said, server asked him to do it, so he went along with it. Said he was embarrassed and humiliated. Promised he'd never do it again. Said that they never did it before. That's bullshit. So
I guess the server was white too, right?
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, maybe they could have been, because listen, you know how it is. They could have been Latino or Latinx, whatever. They could have been Asian, you know. But
maybe
I don't think
maybe black and said like, I know my people. They're not gonna tip.
Maybe very, 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 very high yellow. I don't know. Yeah, but I doubt that they were black. I doubt that in this situation. So the owner, of course, you know, now it's time to do damage control. The owner came out, you know how it is. It's always time to come out and say, well, I am appalled that my staff would do this. And that's exactly what you have from the owner here.
In the hospitality restaurant on a whole, I know that this is common. There's not a lot of equity out there. And it is, in my opinion, that lack of empathy that leads to these double standards. And
you know, when they had that meeting, you know, that employer's like, but you told us to shut up. I told you not to get caught. God damn it.
Straight up.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this happens so much. And this is, I'm going to go beyond race with this. I'm going to go around the table and talk about this with you guys. But this happens so much. It's hard to tell who's lying and who's telling the truth, who was given permission to do this, who was the one that actually instigated it. It's hard to really tell with these people, man. Everybody's going to pass the buck once this thing goes viral and they're out there to save their ass.
People are treated differently. We've got to ask our employment partners to step up and join us in this. And
to not be like us. Because you ask your employment partners come in, they're going to be like, you mean don't be shitty like your employees? Yeah, that's easy, man. This meeting's over. Out.
And what about that cross right behind him? Is this by chance or he just wanted to sit that way?
Oh, that's strategic, boy. Yeah. That's right.
You see that on the corner?
Me and Jesus do not approve of what happened here.
We're good people here.
Yeah, this is PR talking. Maybe the man is good at what he's doing, but man, this is so. First of all, that server's lying. Like, man, it's just something had happened. They encouraged us. No, when they saw that couple walking up, they're like, damn, these black non-tipping motherfuckers. Not today. You know, you're not gonna get us. You know, hit it with you first. So
it might came from the server.
But the
manager shouldn't have. Manager should have said no.
But the manager was in on it too. So
yeah, so they're together.
Yeah, they're together. Oz, what do you think about this, man?
Oh yeah, this is something that's definitely happened before many a times. You know, I think at that place. And you know, it's definitely a case where stupidity, racism, you know, prejudice, all these things come into play when you have, you know, people of color coming in to do anything.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be some sort of, okay, what's going to happen now? No, they're going to sit down and fucking eat and pay their bill and leave. You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. But, you know, they got these, you got this guy, you know, now coming and apologizing and want to start organizations and shit like that. Meanwhile, you know, he was part of these meetings too, probably, man. I mean, this is, like I said, I doubt this is the first time this happened. You know, I'm sure there's some sort of written thing, or not even a written thing, just a said thing, like, okay, if this happens, you know, just put that on there, you know, and you know, they got caught with it. Now they're trying to spin all this nonsense. People have been, you know, suspended without pay and with all this garbage. They should just be fired. If people are lying, you know, adding money to people's bills, you should be done. Why are you being suspended? You know, to me, that reeks of being in cahoots with this whole shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't buy it one iota what this guy is talking about, man.
Yeah.
Just stop going there, man, because that's bullshit. Like I said, they've done this before. This isn't an isolated incident at all.
They have done this before. They're lying, and you should really vote with your money, or you know, speak with your money. Even with them, I wouldn't say never go there again or anything, but man, they need to. The industry needs to know that this will sting if you pull that shit and get caught. This motherfucker over here look like he's got on a. Why is it like his glasses are part of an Instagram filter? DESI Vegas is just one place. I would say 8 to 9 out of 10 establishments out there, they have this whole thing when they see people of color, especially black people, walk up. They immediately prejudge them as if they're going to be bad customers and they're not going to tip. I personally cannot. I'm going my rant a little bit. I personally cannot stand people who do not tip and who do not tip fairly. But that's another discussion I'll talk about in a little bit. What do you feel about this?
That's sad.
No, it's sad.
And I don't know if the owner knew about it. I think like it comes out of the server, and the manager said okay to her, so it's both like they're working together. And like I said, but like he didn't fire them, so he pulled himself in it too, even if he didn't know at the beginning. So
yeah,
I don't know. I like the way they said like this restaurant has to help underprivileged kids and everything now. It's like, okay, yeah, pay back.
Well, that was cool because the couple didn't ask for free food.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for a coupon or anything. They didn't try to get any money. They didn't sue. They just said,
they
hey.
did the right thing because they could have made him look cheap. You know, it's like, give us some food.
Yeah, give us. No, they were smart. We don't want your money. Give that to a good cause. Make people know what they're getting when they come into your restaurant from now on. Maybe you can be an example now to other restaurants out there, because this happens all the time. It really does. And look, I'm not saying that black people don't tip, and I'm not saying that maybe there is some truth to that stereotype. There have been articles explaining why maybe black people don't tip as much. I mean, I remember we talked about this a while back. There was a video that pissed me the fuck off. It was a family of 16 people. Oh, you remember this, man?
There's no sound of the surveillance video, but at this point, Gonzalez says the group started berating the staff after the group ignores staff and skips out on their $420 bill.
Them, man. These people, I would put them in goddamn restaurant jail. I wouldn't even put them in real jail. I put them motherfuckers in a restaurant, lock them up, and make them bust tables for a week. No tip.
Dishwashing too.
Dishwashing too. Mopping the floors. Hell,
definitely on toilet duty.
What's that?
Definitely on toilet duty.
Oh yeah, scrubbing shit stains out of toilets, man. All that.
But this wasn't about tipping. They didn't even pay for the food. Jesus, yeah, they just. These guys just left.
They didn't even get to the tipping part.
Yeah. Here's a tip. Don't let us back in this bitch. They represent the whole group more than others, you know. Because I can tell you right now, there's redneck motherfuckers out there that don't tip, and they don't speak for the whole group, you know? So the point is, you never prejudge anybody. I don't care who it is. You took the job, and I'm not saying that you deserve it. I'm not saying that if you're in the service industry, you shouldn't be upset about not being tipped. You took the job. You know there's going to be shitty people. just don't prejudge people, man. Otherwise, you have incidents like this. Next thing you're on the news and getting exposed, and the restaurant's in trouble, and you looking stupid, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. So just don't do that shit, man. By the way, somebody said if you don't want to be tipped, then don't be a waiter or a waitress. I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. You cannot judge anybody and predict why they have a certain job. You don't know people's lives. I would never say that about anybody. I would say just expect to meet shitty people. But I tell you folks, with this whole tipping thing, man, first of all, tip. Just fucking tip. These people, you don't know why they have this job. They're working their ass off. Tip them 20%. You are really a shitty person if you know that you're going to go out and eat. You know these people depend on tips, and you don't give them 20%. You're kind of a shitty person. I'm sorry. I'm going to judge you. I'm sorry. You are. But if you can't afford to tip, then don't fucking go. How about that? It's not like don't take the job if you don't want to get tipped. How about if you can't tip, you don't fucking eat there? It's that simple. I hate non-tippers, man. I'm sorry. But the other thing is, Oz, I'm gonna ask you something, man. Do you know the history of tipping?
No, I do not.
I read about this not too long ago, and it was a great time to bring it back up. I've always hated the system of tipping, not because I don't want to tip anybody. I think it's a system that is flawed. I always thought it was flawed.
Definitely, and it's wrong.
It's wrong. People work their ass off like any other job. They work harder than some people at other jobs. They get a paid full wage. Why can't we give these people a decent and fair wage themselves? And
why it's on customers to pay the service? It has to be the restaurant who pays the service.
Well, and maybe you could tell me, because I saw this a long time ago. I wanted to bring it back up because I read about this. Tipping itself, if the history that I read and have heard about, if it is true, it is also steeped in racism. It's a piece of racism, a piece of historic racism that eventually, over a century later, ended up fucking it up for everybody, as all bad things do. When you're messing with one group of people, it usually comes out and spreads to other people. And the history of tipping, it comes from Civil War times, if the history I see is true, where they freed slaves who ended up being servers or in the service industry. They didn't want to pay them a full wage. And so these people who were freed slaves who weren't getting paid a full wage, they depended on people giving them extra so that they could actually make money, just so they could get by. There's a book here. It's called Tipping, An American Social History of Gratuities. It says here that there's a quote from a journalist who said that he was embarrassed to tip a white man. Negroes take tips, of course. One expects that of them. It is a token of their inferiority. Tips go with servility, and no man who is a voter in this country is in the least justified in being in service. So this comes from a history where they want to keep one person down, and now it's a system that is making it hard on everybody.
Yeah, definitely, because in different countries, especially like Eastern countries like Japan and all that, tipping is even not cool to do. When you tip people, they take it as an insult. They're like, I get paid from my place, like why you're like giving me change, just like.
Yeah, it's an archaic system, man. It's steeped in injustice, and everybody's losing, man. These people work hard. They shouldn't have to gamble on whether a person's an asshole and it's not going to give them a fair standard of living, or give them a livelihood. It's a shame, man. It needs to change. I am all for getting rid of tipping, man. It's just another case against tipping. Tipping is so wrong, and nobody wants to do it because these businesses are running now, and they're making their money, and they're all talking about like, well, if I have to pay my staff, I'm going to lose money. No, you just don't want to. You just don't want to see something change where it's not going to benefit you for a little while. It will make it harder on some people, but this needs to change, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, pay the people what they are, what they're worth, man. Pay people a fair wage for an honest day's work. That's what it all should entail. And because, you know, there's been this in play for so long, it's easy for establishments like, hey, listen, this is your base salary, but hey, you can make it up in tips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean? And that's what they run off of this time, man. You know, again, man, you know what you know, and if there's a way to change this, it would be nice.
Yeah, I think restaurants should put the tipping in their prices for food and drinks, and then they cannot fool you like, oh, okay, you know what, you calculate and you think you're gonna spend $50, then you have to spend 20% more.
Yeah,
you just put it in the price, and I know how much I'm gonna pay at the end of the dinner, you know.
Yeah, people, I don't think anybody, I don't care what color you are, what race you are, what gender you are, I don't care what your life is. If you're working hard, you deserve to be paid to be paid fairly. And it's ridiculous, man. Tipping should be optional only after somebody's already getting paid a fair wage.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have to rely on people who are not reliable to make up the rest of their wage. You know what I mean? Because I'm a tipper. I tip. Me and my wife, we always tip, man. You know, where it depends on how the service is. You may get more than others. You know? It's not hard to get a tip. You know what I mean? At least from us, you know what I mean? Be there for us. You know, don't come with a fucking grumpy attitude because I ain't asked you to be there.
It's like that in Turkey too. They get paid salaries, and if you want to leave some tip, you would leave some change or something. It's not like 20% or maybe not even 10%.
Yeah, it's a crooked ass system, man. I'm telling you, it really is. And once you know the history of it, you know that you realize just how vile it is, man. So
once you know the history, you know why it feels so bad and weird, because it comes from a weird place.
Well, people have to they have to really go out there and have their wages held hostage, and they have to work hard just to get your approval, which might not ever even pay off. It's such an, I mean, and I'm not trying to make people feel bad, because they shouldn't. You should fight more, but it's demeaning.
It is. And if you eat at the restaurant, like at the end of the dinner, they come to you and it's like, have a good day and everything, and there's like a little talk saying like, come on, man, tip well. It just like feels like, oh man.
Yeah, it's demeaning, man. I don't like it, man. Just don't be an asshole. Tip these people until it changes. And if you can't tip, then don't go anywhere. But definitely, people, learn about your history of these things, and you'll see just how bad it is. And for all those servers out there with advocating for you, let's bring it back. Don't you be an asshole and judge me when I judge Oz. You're going to be all right. But, but don't judge us when we come in there. You should never judge anybody. I'm sorry, but just like I say, people should know the deal when they go out there and eat. You should tip. You should know the deal that every now and then you're going to get an asshole. I'm sorry, I don't want you to, but don't you ever judge anybody when they're coming in there, because you just don't know, man. You just never know who these people are. They might be the motherfucker that puts you on the internet and then blows all your shit up while I watch this bear wipe his ass on his chair. I hope he tipped.
Or we bought a new chair. You know, he might be that.